Hello fellow makeup lovers, how are you guys doing today? So I'm so excited for this video because I have been out of town for the last week and I just love filming so much. It felt so good to just sit down and turn my lights on and get in front of the camera. Today has been a little crazy because I drove like 10 hours. I didn't drive myself. I was with my family, so it was like taking turns and stuff. But 10 hours in the car, which is when I did my makeup, so I didn't film a tutorial. I'm sorry. It's the Alter Ego Goddess palette. And my highlight is Makeup Geek Shimma Shimma, and then my lip gloss I just threw on now is the Lemonade Gloss in Peach Tea from Dominique Cosmetics, in case you're curious. I rarely ever do a look and not film a tutorial, so like I said, I'm sorry. And then as soon as I got home, I fed my son dinner and got him to bed, and then I went on the Half Cousins podcast. So it has been a very, very full day. Also, in case you noticed, like my giant finger, I don't know if you can tell, maybe when I'm holding my phone, it was a really stupid accident, but I ended up like completely jamming this finger and like I broke the nail, and like I don't know if you can tell how bruised it is, how fat and swollen it is. I can't do it more than this. So if you notice that, that's what's happening. I'm a mess. But I'm just so excited because last week's indie makeup releases was a little bit pre-filmed. I filmed it on Wednesday when I normally try and do Thursday or Friday, so there's a lot of stuff to cover, including all the way up to today. So I didn't want to go ahead and wait all the way to next week, or else it would probably be like an hour and a half long because I have so many things to talk about, which is probably going to make this video really hard to edit and get up in the time frame that I have in mind. But it's okay. We're going to have fun. We're going to talk about makeup. It's all good. So I don't know if you can tell. I'm like in a good mood. Just a little bit. I feel like this week I kind of went through and screenshot everything, and it's kind of like normally I try and do all indie first and then I throw mainstream at the end, but it's kind of a mixture. It's mostly indie first, but then some more indie things came out and those are towards the end. So it'll be a little bit back and forth, but we've got some really good, amazing looking things to talk about this week. Okay. Oh wait, this series is inspired by Aniel Canigas and Samantha March. I'll have both their channels linked down below, as well as the community will library playlist and all the Instagram accounts that I use to make this video happen every single week. Alright, so the first thing we have to talk about this week is the new Sugarpill Fun Size palette, and I feel like this is already so hyped and it just released, so I'm kind of just sitting back and watching things unfold. But I do feel like this is a really, really smart release from Sugarpill because their giant size eyeshadow pans, if you did this exact palette, it would be like $100. So I feel like $28 mini eyeshadows is very intriguing. Also, for anyone who hasn't tried Sugarpill, I feel like it's even more intriguing because it's like, oh, I get to try Sugarpill. I get to try all these colorful shades. It's only $28. Like, I see the appeal, and if I hadn't already tried Sugarpill, I probably would have purchased this palette. I personally feel like the Sugarpill formula is just okay, so I wasn't really drawn to purchase this. It's a matte rainbow palette, which I don't need. I do think that the shades look beautiful. Like, there's definitely some interesting tones in here, but also I've heard that the Sugarpill palette formula consistency can be inconsistent, so even if I was completely 100% in love with this palette, it's not something I would purchase right away. I would have waited for either to hear reviews or waited for it to go up on Ulta, because it is going to be available on Ulta, I think, within the next couple of days. If it's up now, I'll link it. But so, I mean, I was definitely excited when I saw it, and I think it's really cute. It's got a little cat on it, but I'm personally not going to be purchasing it. Alright, so next is some more little sneak peeks from Lehighton Cosmetics. I kind of mentioned some shades last week, I think just last week, but they are coming out 2 different collections. So one, I'll show you now, looks to be a mixture of blues and greens, and I feel like they look so unique and interesting and just such cool different tones. I've really fallen in love with the Lehighton Cosmetics formula, so I'm all about this little blue-green collection. So I was already completely intrigued by this collection, and I was planning like, ooh, this could be a palette purchase for September. I'm about it, like a custom Lehighton palette, because I really like the formula, and their shades just look so unique. And then they started showing sneak peeks for the second collection that they're coming out with. I think it's like 2 little mini collections. And this one, I'm going to show a picture of some swatches. The shade Crossroads, which is all the way to the left, and the shade Descent, which is all the way to the right, are new. So it looks like they're going to be doing some type of like purpley, pinky kind of theme, because they also showed another shade that was like a deep burgundy, which I don't have in this picture here. So I'm very, very intrigued just to see what the entire finished product looks like, and most likely I'll be purchasing, and I'm really excited about it. All right, next from Menagerie Cosmetics, they are finally releasing their camouflage setting powder and concealers. And this is definitely really, really intriguing to me, because I just love when indie brands branch out and do something that not every indie brand is doing. I feel like doing complexion is definitely more of an investment. If you want to have a good amount of shades, you have to be able to put in a lot of money in order to produce all those shades. So there are going to be 20 shades of the concealer, which I think is pretty awesome for a small indie brand to come out and start with 20 shades of concealer, because there are like multi-million companies that come out with like 4 shades of concealer. So really excited about that. And then they also have 7 shades of their setting powder coming out. So this all around sounds really awesome, and I believe that their their face products are also going to have different types of skincare components, so that, you know, when you wear it, it does good things for your skin, something along those lines. So I don't personally plan on purchasing these right now for 2 reasons. One is that it doesn't fit my low buy rules, because I've already tried Menagerie and it's not a palette. And then the second reason is that I just want to wait for reviews, because I don't want to end up with more complexion products that I don't love, because I have so many that I'm like trying so hard to get through. And it's like, whenever you use a product you genuinely love and you're like using it every day, it's such a good experience. But then when you're using something that you don't like and you're like, I just have to get through this, it's so just frustrating. And it's like, I want to get my money's worth out of this, so I just don't want to bring anything in my collection unless I like hear people talk about this and they're like, it's amazing, it's wonderful, it's just as good as the high-end concealers, it's just as good as Tarte Shape Tape, those kind of things. Then maybe I'll give this a little second glance and think maybe I'll purchase you, because I would love to have more indie in like the different parts of my makeup collection, like concealers and powders and foundations and mascaras. I'd love to have more indie products there, but they have to be the quality and the finish that I want in order for me to pay for them, basically. So I'm definitely intrigued. If anyone reviews these, I'll be the first person to watch, but I'm not going to be purchasing them right now. Okay, so next from Ruby Cosmetics is this holographic pigment stack, and I just wanted to share this really quickly because I think it's so beautiful and it's so me. It's like an entire, I think there's 2 different pigment stacks maybe, or I'm not sure if they all come together, but it's, when you see them in the little pots, they all look white, and then they're all duochrome light shades, and I feel like it's just my dream. Like, I love it so much, because like, you guys know how I feel about inner corner shades, intense duochrome inner corners, so I think this is beautiful. And if it all comes together, I think that's awesome. It actually reminds me so much of my collection from Peaches and Cream, because I have so many pigments from them. I mean, so many. I have like 10, I think, but 8 of them are pure white when you look in the pot, but then when you actually swatch them and everything, they're all different duochromes and shimmery shades and whatnot. So I think this is beautiful. It's right up my alley, but I'm not going to purchase it because I have something exactly like it already in my collection. Alright, next from Vanessas Vanity, she came out with 2 new eyeshadow shades, and these were definitely really intriguing to me and beautiful. And for the month of July, actually, I did like a custom kind of huge palette of single shadows, but it's actually a small palette right now because I'm still waiting for some orders to come in, and I grabbed like 2 eyeshadows from like all these different indie brands. There were actually Cosmetics, I did 4, Looksy I did like 3, and we'll get to that in a moment, but I went ahead and I put them into a palette together because I just like, I was craving all these different brands, but I just wanted to try 1 or 2 things that I had my eye on. And I cheated a little because I bought these 2 eyeshadows to go into that palette, even though it was like a little bit after the time that I bought the other things. It was just 2 shadows. I thought they were beautiful. And I think, honestly, I think it's kind of something for me to reflect on. And with my rules, when I said like, oh, I could do a custom palette with like custom shadows and just do not DIY, just do single shadows and make my own palette, I think that maybe I should have been a little bit more strict about what exactly that entailed. One brand, two brands, and like limited or something, because I definitely, like, when I place my low buy rules, like, I'm following them. I'm not spending as much money as I did before, but I feel like in that one area with single shadows, I did kind of stretch the rules a little bit. So it's just something to think about. But I did purchase these two shadows just because I thought they were really beautiful, and I've been enjoying the Vanessas Vanity formula. So the first one is Samba, which, I don't know, there's something about this that just intrigues me so much, because it's like this greeny base with like this bluey pinky shift, and I'm so into shades like this right now. Like, I don't even know how to describe it. That one just called to my heart. I honestly, as I'm thinking about it, I probably should have not bought Blueberry Twist. I think it's really beautiful, but it doesn't like call to my heart as much as Samba. So I feel like as I'm explaining to you why I purchased these, it makes less sense and it feels more like an impulse purchase, which I don't want to do. So yeah, I'm reflecting on it. It's all good. All right, next from M Cosmetics is their new Butterfly Love palette, and I think it looks really beautiful. It has like the little tin can, and then the shadows are in hearts, which makes two different butterflies, and then there's the ones to the sides. And I think the thing is that I love M Cosmetics formula so much. I'm like, I bet these are amazing. I bet they're so smooth and metallic and shiny, but I know in my heart that not all of these are my colors, especially the grungier tones to the right. Like, those are just not ones that I would reach for as much, or even like the really bright royal blue. That's just, it's not my cup of tea quite as much. So even though I love the formula, I'm going to pass on this because the colors don't quite speak to my heart. Alright, so next from Alluring Cosmetics is the Alluring Book of Spells, and this, it doesn't really, like, it's not something I would ever see myself buying just because I don't need any more neutrals, but there's something about this palette for some reason that's really aesthetically pleasing to me. I think it just looks really beautiful. I don't know if it's like the really bright warm mattes or like the yellowy shimmery shades in the middle. I don't know. I don't know what it is about this, but I really like it. However, like I said, it's not something that I see myself purchasing, but I just think the picture, I think they captured the colors really well in a beautiful way. Alright, next is a tiny little baby sneak peek from Midas Cosmetics, and it looks like it is called the Temptations palette, and it's a collaboration with Your Glam by Julie. There's also going to be lashes and glitter. I am very curious to see what the colors are going to end up being. I think that Midas has been doing a lot of really trendy things, so they have my attention. Alright, next is a really cute little palette. This is from Hysteria Cosmetics. Hysteria? I love a pun. Okay, so this is a little palette, and it's got like the naked cat on it. What's it called? What's the official name of a naked cat? Oh gosh, I can't remember. I know that I know in like the back of my mind. Oh my gosh, that one's so cute. Look at it. Why does this cat look like he's gonna be a meme? When someone judges you for buying makeup. Anyways, back to the palette. I think it's really cute. So this is like a brand new indie brand. This is their first product, and it does retail for $48. It's available for pre-order now, and I can definitely see where like $48 would sound pricey for a little palette, but you have to keep in mind that with a small indie brand, when they do orders, if they do less and as they're starting out, it costs them more for each palette, and I'm sure, like starting a new brand, I'm sure that it's a lot. But I will say that if you are interested in these colors, because it's pretty, there's like a little mixture of neutrals and like some pops of colors. There's some blush and like face products. I think it's cute. I personally don't plan on buying it, but just because I feel like I wouldn't use this all that often, although I like kind of what they're going for. It feels very minimalist, but also with like a little pop. I like it. I like the idea of it. But if you go on their Instagram and you look at their videos, you can see kind of the palette moving around, and you can see the way it looks in the hand, and I feel like it looks extremely high quality. Like, it looks really, really nice packaging. I believe the kind of color, or sorry, the pictures that are off to the left are like, they look more to be graphic designs, but if you go to their Instagram, like I said, and watch the video, you can see what it looks like real life, and it looks really, really nice. So I think it's cute, and I'm excited to see what more they do. It's called the Nakey palette, if I didn't say that already, so I think it's a cute idea. I like cats a lot, so. Alright, next from Asgaard Queen Cosmetics, they came out with a new multi-chrome shadow, and it is a loose pigment. It looks really pretty. It's kind of like this mixture between like a purple and a red background, and then there's like a bluey teal shift to it. It looks really nice, but I just don't reach for pigments that often, except for inner corner type pigments. And I have so many other multi-chrome, duochrome products that this just doesn't personally stand out to me. And then next from Menagerie Cosmetics are these new luminosity eyeshadows, and I believe that they're kind of like these like colored like gel type things, and they look really beautiful. I really like the colors. I like the sparkles, but again, it's kind of something I would just wait and see reviews, see what people do with them, how they like them, like if they're just used as like toppers. I think it looks pretty, but I have no experience other than like one ColourPop Jelly Mulch shadow playing with this kind of thing, so I'm not sure how I would end up liking it. Alright, next is a new collection from Colored Raine, and this is a collaboration with Power. I believe it's Power Stars. And this definitely caught my attention just because I feel like Colored Raine has such amazing quality. Every time they come out with something, even if it's not like my cup of tea, they normally get my attention. So they're coming out with little blush and like highlighter duos is what it looks like, and I think they're really intriguing, especially the one that's like this like bright like blood, not even blood red, it's not that deep, it's just a bright true red blush, and then the highlighter is like an icy white. I'm so intrigued by that, especially because I feel like red blush can be so intimidating, but if you go in with it lightly and it's not too pigmented, it'll create just like the most beautiful natural flush to the cheeks, and I think it's stunning. So I think that looks like a really cool, just like aesthetically pleasing combo. And then there's like lip glosses, which is nice, lipsticks, and I think there's like eye toppers. There's like a whole bunch of things. So I'm a little overwhelmed looking at the collection, but the palette is so beautiful. The mixture of the purples is stunning. I feel like the one shade in the middle, which looks to be called Revenge, is the one throwing it off for me. If that was a different shade, if it was a different color, I think it would completely transform this palette for me. So, I don't know. I think it's beautiful, but I just don't plan on purchasing it. I really like the tones, but maybe, I don't even want to say maybe one day, because if I can't even right now when it's hyped and when it's new see a place for in my life for this, then I really probably don't need it. But also I'm kind of curious to see swatches, and their quality is so good. I don't know how I feel. I don't know. Moving on. Alright, actually I wonder if it's limited edition. It probably is. Alright, next is from Sparrow Cosmetics, and this is 2 new eyeshadow palettes. So on the top there they have the new Fang Banger palette, which doesn't really look to be like my cup of tea exactly. It's kind of an interesting array of colors. There's some like grungy tones, some pops of blue, and then like some brighter like cranberry looking pinky shades. So I think it's interesting, but it's not really like, it doesn't call to me at all. However, the other palette is beautiful. It looks to be like just an entire palette of like duochrome inner corner shades. I think it might be called the Shapeshifter palette, but it looks really stunning. The swatches look beautiful. They look super glittery. I really like this palette, but I know like 100 times over that I don't need this because I already have so many inner corner shades. I literally, this last single Shadow Saturday, just did my inner corner palette of just some shades in my collection. That's not even all of them. And I've been using that palette every single day, and I love it so much. In fact, on my inner corner today, I have Touch of Glam Booyah, which is so beautiful, and that's one of the shades I have in the palette. So even though I'm 100% aesthetically drawn to this, I love the concept. I just know that I wouldn't use it as much, or if I got it, then I would use what I already have. The inner corner shades I already love, I would use them half as much. Also, spoiler alert, I made an Ulta order because I used my Ulta points. I made my free order, and there's a palette from Essence Cosmetics, and I don't know anything about it really. It was like $10, and it's like all inner corner highlighty type of shades. And I just thought it was so accessible, so affordable at Ulta, $10. I was just so excited about it, so I decided to use some of my points to get that as part of my order, my total order. So that just like reinforces the fact that I don't need this palette, even though I really like the idea of it. Alright, next from Lovelux Beauty is a new palette, and this is their Pastel Princess palette. And I do like this. I do. I definitely do. I think it's pretty. It's a pastel palette. I've been like begging for pastel palettes, but there's something about this that doesn't fully like draw me in. I don't know if it's the fact that there's a black there. It kind of threw me off because like, yes, black can be added as a deepening shade, but it just immediately made me draw the comparison to the Strobe Cosmetics Creepy Cute palette, which is all pastels, and then there's one gray and one black, and in here there's like a really light gray and the black, and I'm like, what a strange combination for both brands to do like all the pastels and then do the gray and the black, even though I'm not saying that they're duping each other or that they're exact same, but in my mind I immediately was like, Creepy Cute palette. So that's probably the main reason I was not tempted at all to purchase this, is because I feel like I already own it. There's a really beautiful shade here, which is like a yellow with like a pink shift to it, but I have something similar from Enchanted Luster Cosmetics. So, I mean, I think this is beautiful. I like it, the idea of it all around, but also my previous experience with Lovelux Beauty is that I didn't love their matte shades either. So, I don't know. And also, previously, the palette that I got, or the two palettes, they looked a lot more like contrasty on the internet and on Instagram than they were in real life. So that kind of leads me to feel like I wonder how true to picture this palette is and how it will actually look in real life. So I don't know. This is another thing. I'm just gonna like just sit back and watch other people talk about it, and I'll be curious to see what people think. I would love to know if anyone likes it and loves it and wants some more of it. Alright, next this is the new Luxie Beauty Ice Cream Social Collection, and this actually released like last week, but it released after I had filmed my video. So this is beautiful. There's 4 shades, and they are all like super stunning multi-chrome, duochrome, just magicalness. And I couldn't say no to this collection because they're literally so affordable. It's ridiculous. They're $2.50 each. And like I look at the pictures and I'm like blown away. Like they are so beautiful. I love the Luxie formula. They look so unique and crazy and just like scrumptious. Like I'm obsessed from the pictures, and I feel like Luxie has a just phenomenal quality. So I felt pretty confident about that. So I was like, I'm going to add them to my custom palette. So like I said, I stretched the rules a little bit there. I fully admit it. But also, I bought all of these shadows, and I paid like $13, including shipping. So I'm so excited. And also, I'm definitely excited to compare these to some other things that I have in my collection, just because these are so affordable. It's ridiculous. Like, I don't know how they do it, but I'm not complaining. So I bought them. All right, next from Kristen Lee Cosmetics is the new Glimmer Gels, and they kind of sneak peeked these a while back, but they were kind of just getting everything ready and getting it together, and now the launch is here. And I believe that these retail for like $12.99 each. I saw somewhere that they have some discount codes, so you can definitely Google it and find them, hopefully, if you're interested in purchasing any of these. They look really beautiful. The first round that I'm showing you guys right now is kind of like deeper colors, and like the shade Anticipation has my heart. Like, that is everything. I love the way that looks so much. But it's kind of the same thing as with the Menagerie Cosmetics shadows. It's like, I don't even know what to do with these. I don't know how I'm supposed to work with them. I'm just going to sit back and wait and see what other people think about them. But I think that they are stunning. Like, definitely a little bit tempted by these just because the swatches look so amazing. But I don't know how I'm going to end up feeling about them, so I didn't purchase any. And then the second set that I'm showing you is like all these like lighter shades. And these look so beautiful as well. The shade Hypnotic and Exactly. Like, I just want to like live, die, and breathe Hypnotic and Exactly. They look so beautiful. I'm like literally sorry that I'm using literally so much right now, but I am literally so obsessed with anything green shifting at this moment. So yeah, I'm obsessed. I think these look stunning. Same as a few other things I mentioned today. I will definitely click on any video about these without a doubt as soon as I see it, but I'm waiting it out for sure. All right, next is an exciting release. This is from Kevyn Aucoin, and this is the new foundation. I believe it's called the Foundation Balm, and it's a full coverage foundation with an innovative silky balm texture, hyaluronic acid, antioxidant vitamin E, avocado oil, and it retails for $52 each. So it is definitely a pretty penny. It's expensive. There's 20 shades. So this just intrigued me because I love Kevyn Aucoin. I feel like his products are very high quality, and I don't think I've ever tried anything from Kevyn Aucoin that I haven't liked. Granted, the mascara was okay. I tried the mascara and it was fine. It wasn't bad. But everything I've tried so far I've really enjoyed. So actually, before this wasn't even announced on Trendmood, it popped up in my Octoly store. And I replied for it and I was approved, so it is being shipped to me currently, so you can definitely expect to see a video on this soon. I'm really excited about it because I think it sounds really nice. I don't know how I feel about the full coverage, but I don't know if I'm crazy. I feel like there's something about it being in that container that makes me feel like it's not going to be full coverage. It's going to be more like medium, but it sounds like it's going to be hydrating, and maybe it'll be kind of like versatile where you can kind of, you know, add more, do less, and kind of blend it in. Just, I don't know, something about the texture intrigues me, so I'm very excited to try that. All right, next from Too Faced Cosmetics is the new Gingerbread Extra Spicy palette, and I don't have that much to say about this other than the fact that I literally thought, I need a new word. I genuinely thought that this was the first palette. Like, I didn't even see the difference, which granted, I didn't really give the first palette a second look. I think I've watched one video on it, and it was only because Paulina's Beauty did it. I don't think Too Faced knows what spice is, because that's not it. Alright, next from ColourPop is their new rainbow collection, but their version of a rainbow palette is single shadows, and I don't mind that so much. Like, I think if this was the palette the way that it is and it had no pressed glitters, I would be about it. Like, I think like that's really beautiful. That's nice. I haven't bought any ColourPop single shadows in a minute. Maybe I'll get this. But no, there's like 25 million pressed glitters in there, so I don't plan on purchasing that. It's just not my style. And then there's other things in this collection, like the Fourth Ray Beauty Head in the Clouds, which is a face milk set, and that sounds great, but I definitely don't need 5 different face milks. If I were to purchase that, I would just get 1 or 2. I wouldn't get 5, so that's kind of, I don't know, it doesn't really do anything for me. Then there's like the mascaras, which like having all those mascaras, it feels like a lot. Like, I go through one mascara at a time, and I think like it's the same conclusion I had when they originally came out with the mascaras, where it's like, oh, it's a really cool idea, but it's like an accent, and unless you're going to use it consistently all the time, then it's going to dry out and it's not going to be worth it. And then there's like the liner set, which I kind of like because I love liners. There's some Super Shock shadows. I don't need it all, a brush set. So overall, this is just a giant pass for me, basically. Alright, next is the new e.l.f. Cosmetics palettes, and there's a few underneath that I don't really know what they are, but the Earth and Ocean palette definitely caught my attention because it's a mixture of blues and greens, and this is just one of those moments where I like have to take a breath and think like, I already have this because indie brands did it first, and I have every indie option of this available, basically. So I don't need it. I don't need it. I'm not going to purchase it, even though I like the colors. And I think it's awesome that e.l.f.'s doing it, but I already have the indie versions and they're so good, so I don't need it. Unfortunately, I did see someone say that they saw this swatch and it did not look very good and it wasn't very pigmented, so that's kind of a little disheartening, but overall, I think every time I see a new palette with green shadows enter the drugstore and be accessible and be affordable, I'm like, yes, more greens, even though I know I don't need to purchase them myself. And then next is some more greens and blues, and these are some new palettes from Smashbox, and I think these look really pretty. They're both kind of a mixture of a neutral palette, and then like the one has more greens in it and then the other has more blues in it. And honestly, I think that Smashbox has amazing color combos. Like, they have probably some of the best little palettes as far as color combinations go from a more like mainstream high-end brand, but I just don't trust their quality. Like, I feel like everyone who talks about these palettes, unless they're sponsored, does not like them or says they're just okay. So, like, I could not see myself taking a leap of faith with these. I don't see myself taking a chance. It's kind of one of those things where when I see a Smashbox palette come out, 99% of the time, like in these ones, I'm like, oh, that's really cute. Next, because I just feel like it's not going to be good quality or it's not going to be as good as what I already have. So I'm not planning on purchasing those. And then next, the lamest release ever from Urban Decay is the new Naked Honey palette. I mean, no. I don't like this at all. I think the one shade Honey is pretty, but overall, this just looks so much like the original Naked palette. It's not even funny. Also, it feels like there's just not a lot of depth to this, and I wish that some of the shades were just deeper, and I saw a lot of people saying that this would be really ashy on anyone who has melanin in their skin, so that's... Ugh. I just feel like Urban Decay is so far behind, and they used to be so far ahead, and it's truly a tragedy. I know, everyone feels the same about Urban Decay. It's not an unpopular opinion, except for like some neutral lovers here and there, but I don't know, it genuinely makes me sad because I'm like, I wish that they were doing cool things. Like, the packaging on this is so cool, and I kind of understand, like, I don't expect a honey palette to immediately be like bright yellow because honey is not, but I imagine it to have more richness and more depth than what we have here, for sure. Even it doesn't have to be a full yellow palette, but this is just very bland from looking at the palette. Alright, next from BH Cosmetics is the new Virgo palette. I think the packaging is nice, but I think if you're familiar with me at all, you already know how I feel about this. It's just another month, another disappointment. Alright, next from Too Faced. I'm ashamed to admit that I actually kind of really like this. This is a little sneak peek for holiday, and it says, like, it's the Christmas Star palette. And I'll show you guys the outside first, and then I'll show you what the inside looks like, and it, like, opens up. I don't know what's wrong with me, but I love this. Like, I love it. Like, not the colors. The colors are kind of boring. I mean, there's a little purple, a little green, there's like a bright red. I don't hate that, and I think like the actual face products and everything looks nice, but the packaging, like, I think it is so fun and cool, and I know everyone hates it and thinks it's bulky and horrible, and I see people like degrading this palette like there's no tomorrow, but I don't know. I might be corny, but I kind of actually love this. Normally with holiday packaging, I'm a little like, eh, like when there was like that giant gummy bear. But this, something about it I think is really fun. Alright, next from Moira Cosmetics. Again, like I said, jumping back into indie and kind of going back and forth a little bit, but these are some new, like, it looks like blush palettes, and these totally caught my attention. I feel like they have some really beautiful combinations. The packaging all has different flowers on it. Like, I feel like these look really, really cute, and I'm genuinely so intrigued by them. They are only $7 each. I'm like, $7 for like this tiny, cute little blush palette. Like, I love it. Like, I think like the really purpley pink one looks cute. I'm kind of digging the yellowy orangey one, although I don't think that would really fit my skin tone. The really light peachy one, the lighter peach with the pink. Basically, I like them all. I like them all, and I'm so intrigued. So I'm curious. I don't think I've heard anyone talk about these, so there's something I might like Google and like look for some reviews on, although I don't plan on purchasing them because the last thing I need is more blush. But I think like the presentation here and everything, like I think it looks so cute, and I just feel like there's been so many different products like this lately, and they're all so high end, and they're like $40 each or something. So to see these and $7 in cute packaging, I'm like, oh, I like it. So I'm definitely intrigued. All right, next from Wet n Wild is some new palettes, and again, this is kind of the thing about the drugstore getting more green. I don't really care about the one on the left, but the one on the right is called the Boo Crew, and it's really cute. It's got a bunch of blues and greens. Mostly, I feel like you'd be a little bit held back with how many looks you could do with this because there's that transition shade, which does not look like a transition, it just looks like an all over setting powder if you have a lighter skin tone. And then there's a deepening shade, and then there's that teal. But all the other shades I think would be really fun to kind of mix it up and use on your lid. So I think it's probably gonna be like $5. It's probably gonna be super affordable. Wet n Wild tends to have good quality products. I'm currently on a break from Wet n Wild, but this definitely did catch my attention. I think, like I said, it's like every time I see green enter the drugstore, I'm like, yes, another one, even if I'm not buying. All right, next from Makeup Revolution is the new, it's Makeup Obsession. I think that's like a Makeup Revolution brand, if I'm correct, but this is the London's Calling palette, and this immediately caught my heart and my attention. The color scheme is really cute. It's kind of grungy, and I really love the pops of color. I like the color scheme a lot, but the actual packaging just, it like brought me back because when I was younger, me and my best friend had like this whole life plan of how we were going to move to England, and we were so obsessed with the Union Jack flag. Anytime we saw anything on it with anything we saw, oh, I'm tired. Anything that anytime we saw anything with the Union Jack flag on it, we would buy it. We had shirts, we had shoes, we had bags. I bought her a blanket for Christmas that was the Union Jack flag. So as soon as I saw this palette, I took a screenshot and sent it to her and told her that my inner teenager was dying. So I think it's really cute. It's not something I plan on purchasing, but I love the idea of it. Next is from Ulta and Essence. It's a collaboration called Girls United Beautiful Possibilities. And I really do want to go ahead and like watch the video and everything on this because I'm curious to learn more. But it shows there's 6 different women here who went ahead and curated this collection, is what it seems to be. So there's like the little makeup bag, which I think is really, really cute. I love the makeup bag. There's a palette, which kind of looks like a rainbow neutral palette twist. There's some highlighters, and then there's some lip glosses. This collection kind of threw me off because I was creeping on the Ulta website and I saw the lip glosses, and like they're the Essence lip glosses and they're $10 each. I'm like, the little baby Essence lip glosses. Like, I love the idea of a collab, but I feel like it was definitely marked up, especially considering Essence is normally like $3, $4 each at most. So to see their like tiny little baby lip glosses for $10, I feel like I can't see buying all 4 of those and spending $40. Like, that just feels like way too much. So it's not something I personally saw myself buying, although I do really like the bag. Like I said, like maybe I don't need it. I don't need a makeup bag, but if I did, I would be into that. I definitely want to read the story and like learn more about like what went into the collection, because maybe it goes like certain proceeds go to charity or something, and that's why it's higher. I don't really know. I think the collection looks cute though, but I don't need anything. Alrighty. I think, okay, we've got 3 more things to talk about. First, from Focaler is the new Smile palette, and this looks really cute. It is a super, super bright yellow palette. I'm so confused because I love the color scheme of this, but I don't know if those shades to the side are pressed glitters or just really intense metallics. I have the Focalure palette here, which actually I think I'm going to have a video going up on this tomorrow. And like none of these shades are pressed glitters, and it's like the same kind of thing. Like this is their green version, that's the yellow version. So I don't know. And those look like pressed glitters to me. So I feel like either way, I don't need it. I don't need it, but if it's pressed glitters, then I don't like it. But if it's not pressed glitters, then I think it's beautiful. There's like a yellowy pink shift. There's like a yellowy blue shift. There's like the icy white looking shade. So I don't know. I'm curious to hear what people think about it, if anyone gets it. And I think the shade Sunkissed, that really like warm orangey shade, it looks like it has a good amount of pigment to it. So hopefully that's a nice, good deepening shade to just play really nicely with the others. And also I really like the name of the palette, Smile, because I feel like that's like the essence of yellow. Like it's just such a happy color. So overall I think it's cute, although I don't plan on purchasing it. And then next, something that definitely caught my attention is the new Ammo Cosmetics palette. They don't really have a name for this. It's not available right now. I think it said that their Etsy shop is taking a little break, but it's like this beautiful matte green palette. There's 5 shades here, and like they just look so vibrant and such interesting shades of green. They definitely have my attention. And part of me is like, that is so beautiful altogether. But I know I don't need it, so I'm not going to purchase it. But I think it's beautiful. Alright, last but not least is the new Beauty Bay x Mitchell palette. And I'm kind of going a little back and forth on this. I've got my pros and cons. I think this looks really beautiful. I like the color scheme. And it looks to be really compact. It looks like it's going to be like a lot of shades in just like a little palette. There's like this like mirror in there that I think you can take out or put in. It looks kind of customizable, and then there's like the side that has like all the warm tones and like the reds and the pinks, and then the other side that's got all the cool tones and the purples and the blues, and then there's like that super vibrant green. I think it looks really nice. And the part where I'm kind of going back and forth is that on one hand, I've really wanted to try the brand Beauty Bay and to try what they're coming out with. They've got like a highlighter palette that I'm curious about. They've got like some liquid eyeshadows. I wouldn't go crazy or anything, but there's a few things, and I've never tried the Beauty Bay brand, and I've heard really good things, and they seem to be pretty affordable. So they have been on my list of brands that I've been intrigued to try, and so this kind of feels like, ooh, like that's something I would love to try. So it's kind of like, ooh, like I love it, because you know, I just love to try new brands. But then on the other side, it's like, but do I really need this? Do I really not have something else like this, even if it's new and it's a brand I want to try and it's a color scheme I like? I don't love the color scheme. Like, I like it. I really do. I think I would be happy to have it, but it doesn't, like, I'm not passionate about this palette. I'm like, yes, I need it. Like, I don't have those kind of feelings. So I'm kind of torn. Although, I mean, I'm curious to see it swatched. I believe it's supposed to be a pressed pigment palette, so it'll probably have some staining, but alright, y'all, so as I suspected, I've been filming this video for like an hour and a half, so hopefully I can edit it down in a timely manner. I really, really hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.